Hey, I'm Ben, and welcome back to another devlog for the Song of the Fae, a deck building chess-like game in development by 2PM Studios, which is a fancy way of saying me and my buddy Ricky. So, in the last devlog, I talked a bunch about how much time we've been spending on the game and life changes and things like that surrounding it. There'll be none of that this time. Instead, we're just going to look at exactly the work that we did because we got a bunch of it done, and I'm pretty excited to show you all. So, let's get straight into it. Okay, so once again, we find ourselves starting a video staring at this board with a bunch of icons on it while I talk about what the icons mean. Let's keep going. So, in the last video, we talked a lot about how rewards and punishments were working now, and how upgrading units was going to work. So one thing we've changed in this latest build is that we didn't feel like you were getting enough opportunities to get rewards and punishments, because there were just icons on the board previously that you had to move through to get one. So for example, doing this, right, that gives me 2 punishments here. But what's new in this build is this extra plus here with the treasure chest next to it. So this means that if you do a combat encounter, you will also get a reward just for doing a combat encounter. So anytime that you end up with the result of it being combat, you'll get this option. So like here, 3 swords, combat with a reward. But if I were to change this to be, let's see here, like this doesn't have a reward because it's a challenge room. So it's only applicable to combat rooms. So if we quickly just do that, you'll see what happens. We get it afterwards when we do a combat encounter. So I'm just going to skip out of this room with dev mode, so I'm not going to fight it. Then I come back, I get my reward, awesome. I put it in this unit, and now on this next move I get, so if I were to go to another combat encounter, which I can actually do like this. So down here, this is a complicated one. Look how this text is overflowing, it's nice. You can see here now it's got a plus punishment, so this alternates back and forth, and this is an idea that we had in an earlier version of the game where you'd get alternating rewards and punishments. So you had to decide. It basically gives you a further variable to consider about when you want to engage in a combat encounter if you know that you'll get a punishment or a reward for it. So in this case, this is a pretty weird outcome because I'm going to get a unit, a reward, and a punishment from doing this. But let's just go ahead and do that because that'll be cool. So I got a rogue, I got a new trait, which we can put on. These guys all have good stuff. Yeah. Yep. And then, yeah, if I leave this room like I did before, we'll come back and we'll get a punishment, I believe, right? So, yeah, lose 1 attack. That's an awful punishment. Let's give it to this guy. So, yeah, that's pretty much the main change there. It's just that there's another way to get rewards and punishments. This actually also applies to the boss fight, where you can see here, it's got a plus treasure chest next to it. Now, if you are going to fight the boss, this is always a treasure chest, though. There's no punishments for fighting the boss because I didn't think that made any sense. You should always get a reward. It also, it just gives you a little bit more bolstering momentum into the next area. And something that's cool about these rewards that happen after the fight is that this is just like an Easter egg I'm telling you because you know the dedicated few of you who watch the devlogs. If you lose a unit in the combat encounter, there is I think 33% chance that you will get that unit back as the reward if there's a reward afterwards. And that unit will be see how they have the name like Urok the Cautious? It'll be Urok 2, like the second, the Cautious. So they get like a Roman numeral name of their generation, basically, if they keep getting reincarnated. So I haven't had that happen a single time to me yet, but I'm pretty sure the code works. It's just a fun one for you guys to know about. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is some changes we've made to the Merk and the Rogue. So we have those in our party already. Let's just go to a combat encounter. You can see here I'm skipping, I'm just picking 4 random cells, not ones that are connected to me. You can't do this in the game normally, but I am once again in developer mode, so I can do anything. So if I head in here, we'll just plop down these units and I'll explain what's happening with them as we go. So if I put down a dog here, I might put down a lancer here, maybe a rogue there, and a merc there. Okay, so first thing we should probably notice is that this rogue is incredibly strong, and that's because of 2 things. So you see in this buff list here, we've got +7 attack, which is amazing. So 3 of those pluses are +1s from Gutsy, which is from the Blood Built trait. So this unit gains 1 attack for each friendly unique element deployed. We have a lot of elements deployed. We have water, fire, and air, so we get 3. And then Poised +4. This is the new ability for the Rogue, and there's a similar thing for the Merc. Sorry, I burped slightly there. So every turn now, the way that we changed this in the previous build because we changed luck to skill, but now we've changed how the Merc and the Rogue work again because we liked this implementation more than the previous one. So using skill, each turn the Rogue rolls a dice, which basically, you know, has as many sides as they have skill, and they get that many extra points to their attack. So every turn, the Rogue will get up to 4 bonus attack at the start of their turn. So you always know when it comes to the attacking phase how much damage it's going to do. The Merc does something similar with Braced, where each turn up to its skill, it gets that much defense bonus. So the idea behind these is that this is like, these units both have like a footing sort of concept or a stance where like they're ready for what's going to happen. They're anticipating it, right? So the Rogue is poised to backstab if they get set up well, and the Merc is poised to defend or evade or something like that. So this is kind of cool. You have to pay a lot of attention now to the numbers in practice, but that's good because we want you to do that. And part of what we've done with this change as well, I just realized this, I'll talk about this in the middle of it, even though it's not related, is that we added these, you see under these enemies here, so like there's now attacking indicators. So this enemy here is going to attack the Rogue, and there's a red X under the Rogue. The Rogue will attack both these enemies from this position, and you can see now like basically what attacks are going to happen, which is useful. It just doesn't fit under the umbrella of anything else I'm going to talk about today. So if you play this turn out, we'll do, let's just destroy this imp dude first. Yeah, cool. That's not great, but that's fine. So you see, they both got new buffs this turn because we changed turns over. So it's my turn again. Now this only has +2 attack from poised. So only 9 instead of 11. Still a very powerful unit, but you can see how this like, you need to be aware that your unit might become less strong if you just leave it in the same place for turn after turn after turn with these. So that's the similar thing happens with the Merc here, where we'll see after the turn ends. Now we have 10 defense. Yeah, cool. And it gained some attack from being attacked. Cool. So that's really it. I think this is a better design for these two units and how that like innate relationship with skill works. It feels cool. It feels risky, which is fun. Like the Rogue, for example, is really glass cannony now, which I think feels quite good. You have to be very mindful of like, hey, you know, these enemies can just one-shot it, but it is a very powerful thing to move around the map. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to look at is the boss fight. So we've done like a bunch of work on the boss. We've been rethinking how we want to approach bosses in this game. So I might give a little bit of a philosophical discussion just before we like go in. But like, actually, I'll probably do what like that. Yeah, we'll get a unit on the way in. Previously, we'd been using a philosophy that most games use with bosses, which is like, this boss is a big, strong unit that has a health bar, and you have to chip away at it over time to like wear it down, right? And that's always been a bit of a tension in this game's design because everything is a bit more chess-like, where you either take a piece or you don't, right? There's not really a concept of health and a decreasing bar, and we weren't sure how that was going to fit in. And it's been tricky to make it work, where a lot of the time fighting this boss historically, we had to make the boss quite strong, but then it would just one-shot all your units and then it'll be gone, and it was kind of boring. And we kind of rethought it to be like, well, what if, you know, this game is based on like Hefner and like chess to a degree as well. What if it's more like a game of chess where like the normal combats are like mini little scenarios, but the boss fight is a full game of like Taffel. So if we go in, you'll see what I mean. There's an intro sequence now too, so that'll be cool. I'll shut up for a sec. There we go. So that's this is Cormag the Abrasive. So you'll notice several things. One is that the arena looks different to how it did in the previous build, if you've seen that. It's much bigger. We have a bunch of units here. I'll talk about what's going on. And we also have Cormag in purple. So Cormag has a move preview now. His movement's been changed. His health bar is big and purple down here. And he has a new stat block up here, which doesn't have his defense in it. This hover tooltip does. Technically, the boss shouldn't have defense, because defense is like, this number in green means that you'll be killed if you get dealt more damage than that, but the boss has a health bar, so it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, there'll be a new tooltip eventually that has the same fix applied. So now what happens in this fight is we are given a bunch of units. So we start in the middle here with all our units, and this is, if you haven't seen Taffel, this is basically how Taffel boards are laid out, where you start in the center, and then there's another team around the outside, or vice versa, depending on who you control. So now, this is like the king of the other side, is the way that this fight works. So this is your king, if we were talking in chess terms, and this is their king. the Cormag can every turn apply a buff or a debuff, so he can buff one of his units or debuff one of yours, and he also has the ability to be angered at certain damage thresholds, and then he can get stronger and do stuff. So this fight's way more chaotic now. I'm just going to play it in the devlog because that'll be more interesting, I think, than anything else that I could really do. I think we have crashed, though. Okay, so there was a bug the first time that this loaded. There wasn't a bug the second time. That's bad, obviously. Okay, so yeah, we're back. We have slightly different units to the clip I would have just cut from because, like, I had to restart the boss fight. Anyway, everything I said still applies. Let's actually play the fight this time. So, what's a good first move here? I reckon this archer's pretty strong, so I could shoot at some of these guys. I can just shoot at any of these and take them out. You. Cool. And I converted these two units then. That's awesome. So you see, yeah, Cormag just debuffed this unit here. So he only has one attack now. He did his little roar. So we can take this skeleton out like this. Can we? No, we can't. Too weak. Oh, that's bad. So he buffed that skeleton. Yeah, big damage to me. So you can see how, like, this fight has a very different dynamic to the ones you will have done throughout this biome so far. There's a lot more interoperation between the different unit types and the kind of synergies that can show up. To be honest, I'm actually not quite sure how I want to deal with this. Maybe I'll do this to kill this skeleton. Oh, he got pushed away too, though. So is he going to come back? He's going to debuff that again. But I can come in here, I think. That's probably the go. And get buffed up and... yeah, cool. So you can turn the tides, but that is very annoying to have a good unit. Look at this stack. 4 from Gutsy, -2 from Unnerved, +1 from Poised. That's ridiculous. So we can shoot another one of these guys. Let's take them out. Oh, you can also see... wait, did he just... he's injured. Wounded. You can see on Cormag's turn, when Cormag commands one of his units, he points to command them where to go now. Oh, he doesn't face the right direction, though, but I like that touch. Let's shoot this unit here. We're just going to take out the easy ones while we can, obviously. He's going to kill this archer. Yeah. But I can get you with this. If you come back, at least. Oh, okay. Might have to shoot. Ah, that's bad. All right, well... We are certainly on the ropes here. This fight's hard, I'm telling you. It's because I have no upgrades too, though. That's the other part of it. Okay, that's good, because you'll just take you out. You can shoot you, too. Oh, you did. I did it again. I didn't understand the movement, apparently. We'll move this there. This is better, right? Because this there... yeah, cool. I think we can do this if we play just right. I can't shoot anyone... I can't shoot Cormag. He's 1 square too far away. That sucks. So what can I do here? We can... the rogue's risk you send out on its own. I really want to get somebody next to the dog, so maybe I'll do that. Buff the archer up to be a better offensive thing. And then... what can you shoot, though? You really can't shoot a single unit from your location, huh? Can I bait anybody to come and fight me? Yeah, just debuff my rogue. That's fine. It's totally fine. Let's maybe try and draw one out. So, like, here. So the problem is, I can go for, like, this is the go. I can kill both of these. Yeah. Like, you just gotta be aggressive sometimes, I suppose, is the lesson here. I'm not sure. The challenge is that that same principle... oh, it does apply here. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're getting to the interesting part of this fight, where I can just use my archer to, like, destroy Cormag from a distance. But normally this is actually harder, but we have a really good build for dealing with this. You can see how, like, it looked like we started this fight really strong with a lot of units, but you can see that it's actually quite a substantial challenge now to overcome this whole thing, right? Like, it takes a lot of... he can just keep shooting, actually. Don't worry about that. It takes a lot of steps. Like, you have to take out every unit on the map, really, before you're going to be able to safely deal with Cormag. Now, see, now he has 7 attack because he's angered right now. He can charge, too, which means if you're on the same row or file as him, so rank or file, he'll just be able to like one-shot you the same way that like a Merk, a Lancer can. Apparently I can't remember the names of my own units. If I go over here, let's prepare to fight the Imp. We've shot him with another arrow and he's angry again. He debuffed my rogue. That's bad, actually. But I can still kill this guy. Cool. And then he's not going to die. Oh, he moved back into the square. Well, the archer's going to finish him off, so that's awesome. Let's just prepare to leave the room. Sweet. And that's the boss fight. So, yeah, I really like the changes we've made to that. It seems way, way cooler to me. I can't wait for everyone to check it out and let me know if it's as fun as I think it is, because I think it's pretty fun. Okay, so as you can probably see, we've done some similar but different stuff for the snake boss as we did with Cormag in the other room. So you can see the movement preview for the snake. Obviously, it's purple. The bar's purple. It's called Snake the Slithery now. There are some problems with the display, like because of how the snake's implemented as many units, only one of them has the boss, like the overhead thing, and the rest of them just look kind of messed up because it has 10 attack currently. That's really strong. That's a deadly snakehead. So the same room idea basically, but we haven't done swamp specific art for the snake boss yet. We'll do that eventually. The snake boss has had some adjustments internally that make it less likely to just sit in one place and lay eggs over and over and over again. I still can't promise that that won't happen, but it should be less likely to happen. Oh, that was a good example of we got a resurrection on one of our units, Rayang the Second, the Xenophobe, because we defeated that boss, in quotation marks, defeated. I mentioned that earlier in the post-boss rewards section, like that rewards after a combat can include the unit that you lost at getting replaced. Okay, so look, that's actually pretty much it for this one. We are planning on introducing some new units into the game in the next patch, as well as fleshing out... Well, look, there's a lot of ways that we can go from here, so I'm not going to make any firm commitments, but we want to make the challenge rooms, which currently consist of just mazes, pretty much. We want to make that a big focus coming up. Add more types of challenges, have them be really, start becoming an important part of the game, because I'm mostly ignoring them, and you've seen that in the devlogs, I'm not talking about them. They've been sort of sitting there for a while, but we know what we want them to do, and we just have to do it. Similarly with shops, we want to add some more variety in shops and shop kinds that you'll get. So that's the stuff I expect that we'll work on next. There is probably quite a lot of other stuff we could look at. The plan for the game currently, as we're looking at it, is to just keep focusing on making sure it's fun. So that's very, very... Fun is obviously too broad. What I mean by fun is, it doesn't lag at some point while you're playing it, right? Where a few months ago, the problem we were dealing with is that it was just boring after the first couple of combat encounters. There wasn't anything new happening. Now there's a lot more overarching stuff where a whole biome fighting a boss and defeating it is kind of interesting, but there's not really that rolling, really deep interest biome to biome as the run builds and you move through the whole thing. So by adding more challenge rooms and shops, they were adding all these levers and mechanics and seams for players to tug on and find ways to make themselves stronger. And then we had to sort of develop those two parts of the game, right? You have to develop ways for players to manipulate things in their favor and then create challenges for them to overcome sort of in tandem, back and forth, expanding both. So, yeah, that's the plan. That doesn't really give us a firm goal for what the next update's going to contain, nor should it. I don't really like working that way anyway. But things keep improving, so I'm happy. Please do obviously stay tuned with the devlogs, but check out the game on Steam and maybe consider playing it if you want to give us some feedback on it. You can also check out the streams. I usually live stream on, it's Wednesdays Australian Eastern Standard Time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see on my Twitch page what the scheduled slot is in your time zone. Follow me on Twitter, follow the studio on Twitter, follow us anywhere, I don't know. Just type in the name and Song of the Fae into Google and then click on every link that looks like it's about a game and then bookmark it, I don't know. So yeah, thank you for checking this one out. I'll catch you in the next one and peace out.